Because Britain is witnessing fresh political turmoil as a senior minister in Prime Minister Keir Starmer's government has resigned and openly called for a leadership contest within the ruling Labour Party. Former Health Minister Wes Streeting stepped down, accusing Starmer of political drift and saying the Prime Minister can no longer lead Labour into next general election. The dramatic resignation comes after Labour suffered disastrous results in last week's local elections, triggering growing unrest within the party and also fresh calls for Starmer to quit or announce a timetable for his exit. In his resignation letter, Streeting said Labour needed a battle of ideas, not personalities, but his criticism of Prime Minister was scathing. He said there was a vacuum of vision and accused the leadership of making others take the blame for government's failures. However, Streeting stopped short of launching a formal leadership challenge. Sources close to him say he wants an orderly transition instead of an immediate contest. Several names are now being discussed as possible successors, including Deputy Prime Minister Angela Rayner, Greater Manchester Mayor Andy Burnham, Energy Secretary Ed Miliband, and Armed Forces Minister Carns. Despite mounting pressure, Starmer has vowed to fight for his position, while senior cabinet allies insist they continue to back him. The political uncertainty has rattled markets, with the British pound slipping slightly after the resignation, and business leaders have also warned that another leadership battle could damage investor confidence and push Britain deeper into instability. Here's a report.
Britain's health minister resigned on Thursday, calling for a leadership contest to oust unpopular Prime Minister Keir Starmer. Since disastrous local election results last week plunged his Labour Party into crisis, Starmer has vowed to stay on, despite a growing number of calls for him to step down. Streeting was the first senior minister to break cover. He said he was leaving because, quote, "It is now clear you will not lead the Labour Party into the next general election." Earlier on Thursday, Starmer's former deputy Angela Rayner announced tax issues that forced her to step down last year had been resolved. That paved the way for a potential leadership bid. Among other possible candidates, Greater Manchester Mayor Andy Burnham is seen as the most popular. He doesn't currently have the necessary seat in Parliament, but that could soon change. On Thursday, Labour MP Josh Simmons said he would stand down from Parliament, clearing the way for Burnham to run in a by-election. Posting on X, the Manchester mayor said, quote, "Much bigger change is needed at a national level if everyday life is to be made more affordable again. This is why I now seek people's support to return to Parliament." He's far from guaranteed to win the by-election, however, which is set to be fiercely contested by Nigel Farage's Reform Party. Streeting is viewed as being on the right of the Labour Party, while both Burnham and Rayner hail from its so-called soft left. Energy Minister Ed Miliband is also reported to be preparing to run. Labour's losses came after a series of political U-turns and a scandal over the appointment of Peter Mandelson, a close associate of Jeffrey Epstein, as ambassador to the United States. And after the Reform Party made sweeping gains in the local elections.